Yeah, it is otherwise. Okay, we'll go to page 24, bringing your buyers to a decision. Remember, you're not a tour guide with a lockbox key, and we talked about that early on. Your job, once you've helped them find the right home, is to facilitate the decision-making process for your buyers so they can make an offer and get the home they want before someone else does. Right? So, you've done a good job of just all the other stuff. You've kind of brought them up to speed on what our market is doing so that they can anticipate how things might go and keep their running shoes on. Okay. So, how do we handle buyers that are afraid to pull the trigger? The leads come in. From those leads, you contact them, you make an appointment. One of the things my mom taught me that I still say every time, I try to say at least 3 times during our first appointment. You know, Bob, if we choose to work together, you can count on me, blah, blah, blah. Bob, if we choose to work together, whatever it is. If we choose. So the best advice my mom ever gave me in real estate was, Jeanie, put away your tin cup. Do you know what I mean by that?
You're begging?
Put away your tin cup. Absolutely, that's right. When you get to the point where you've had an appointment, you've agreed that you want to work together, and you're of course going to have to sign a buyer agreement or a listing agreement, depending on what side. But the reason I say put away your tin cup is it's easy when you're new, when you're slow, want a deal. It doesn't really work out. It doesn't work out. I will not work with people that I don't feel good about myself when I'm with them. I can't feel good about being with someone who doesn't treat me with respect. I can't feel good about, someone that has no value, doesn't value my time, or what have you, that doesn't respond to, so that's what I mean about put away your tin cup. We have a tendency to go, oh, they might buy, so let's chase that. I promise you, you'll be going home at night, you'll be working with 3 or 4 people, and the one person that's a jerk is making you grind your teeth on the way home. It's also robbing you of your creative abilities and your positive attitude and all the things that you have to have in order to be a successful salesperson. So put away your tin cup, right? But let's assume that if we choose to work together, I've had people say, what do you mean if we choose? Aren't we gonna, by about the 3rd time? Mm-hmm. But do you see how I've kind of postured up there? I'm not begging you for your business. If we choose to work together, even if you don't say that, that's the mindset I would like you to have. So you've worked on signed the agreements, and then you're out and about, and you're going to make an offer, and then go into contract. Looks pretty simple, and it can be. Some are easier than others. Any questions about this funnel or anything that we're talking about right now? Page 25, there's always going to be roadblocks. So you want to expect that. And if you can, if you think of it, you want to, let's see, where am I? I don't know where I am. Could be right there. Oh no, I'm going to go right here. Oops. That's what you're saying. We're going to talk about the decision-making process now on page 23. Things are going to come up and you're going to solve them. Each time you show a new property, ask your buyer to rank that property on a scale of 1 to 10. They can put up there next to the number of the listing, the time, appointment time, and their score. So be sure to do that. I want you to share that with me when we're through with our tour. That's what they said, good. Each record that number on your home tour checklist. The purpose is to continuously decide which property is ranked at the top for a possible offer. Ask them, why did you rank this top higher than that one? So it's all a great opportunity to understand at a deeper level what they're looking for too. When you finish touring homes, put all, no, wait a minute, where am I? I skipped something. After each showing, ask if they want to purchase that home. Either seriously or in jest. If it's a crappy house and you know they don't want it or for whatever reason, hey, you ready to buy that? This one? Want to buy this one? I use humor a lot because it's helpful. But yes, do you make an offer on this house? Maybe we should make an offer on this house. Or, you know, and sometimes they're going, this is your opportunity to further understand or to reassess the buyer's needs, wants, and values. Because those do change, you know? It changes. People get more information and then their needs change too. When you finish touching or touring homes, put all the MLS sheets together in their order of ranking. Eliminate all but the top 2 ranking homes. Take the highest scoring home and ask, so is this one your favorite? Is it going to be your new home? It does meet everything on your checklist, doesn't it? You can validate their choice by adding, I can see why you're so excited about it. Take the MLS sheet of the top ranking home, flip it over and draw a line from top to bottom. On the left side of the home, write the pros, on the other side the cons, and dig deep with your questions. That's that 3-level digging. If you get an opportunity to go to one of our courses where we talk about the 3 levels, you guys even know what I'm talking about? It's very powerful. You wanna learn to do that. It's very, very powerful. Dig deep with your questions and to truly pull out what they like and don't like about the home. This way, your buyers don't feel like you're pushing the home sale on them, and it helps you isolate objections. So you're just kind of bringing them along so they can make their own decision. It's their decision. And then, ask them to make an offer. Once they've clearly narrowed in on the highest ranking house, help them focus on the next step, making an offer by asking, so would it make sense for us to go back to my office to do some research on home prices in the neighborhood to see what would be a good offer? I don't think I would put it quite that way, but let's go back to the office.
Do you bring a purchase contract with you to the showings?
No, I'll bring my computer.
Okay.
So yes, I do. Yeah, we do have a copy of the purchase and sale agreement inside their packet,
Okay.
which they may or may not have brought with them.
Do you, like you said, you've asked them to highlight stuff from it previously to even showing them the homes?
I'm sorry.
Like the purchase contract, you said that you've given it to them already.
Yeah.
Ask them to highlight things that they don't understand, so
Yeah.
they're familiar with it.
My script is this, when we're down at the first consultation and I'm going through the packet they're sending home, going, this is our purchase contract. It's several pages, 14 pages long. There's a lot of boring stuff in here and it's mostly boilerplate, but I want you to feel very confident, and I do not want the first time you look at this to be when we're actually writing an offer. Because you're gonna be excited and it's gonna distract you. I want you to be able to focus on making the important decisions. Please, here's your homework, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. Here's a highlighter. I buy you boxes of highlighters. Here's a highlighter to take home with you. When you guys are having coffee in the morning or after dinner tonight, walk through it, highlight anything that is that you need more information or don't understand, and the next time we see each other, I'll fill in those gaps.
Do you fill out some of the purchase contract on your computer before the actual appointment, or you do it all right then when they decide? Or
I don't. You might want to fill out as much as you can ahead of time. We have templates that make life easier, so remember to look for the templates. It makes life much easier. But honestly, you're usually not even with them when you I want to be able to focus and do my own thing. So, you know, we go through this and that, make the decisions, and then I send them off to dinner or wherever, and then I get back to them.
and then you send it to them via like
DocuSign.
e-sign, DocuSign,
Or
gotcha.
zip forms, either
Okay.
one.
Gotcha.
So zip forms comes with RAM, so I was using that because it's free. I love free, but now we have DocuSign for free on Keller Williams. So
Really?
Yes, sir, and so, do we need to switch over, or are you paying DocuSign?
No, at Coldwell Banker, you had to pay for it every year.
I know.
$190.
I know, everybody else does, but we now have a deal, so we do not, so,
You guys have no idea. You got no idea what you got here that's compared to other places. It's
I know.
just stupid.
I know, it's
It
super
really
exciting.
is stupid how much stuff you got here.
I'd love to hear you say that.
No,
You know,
I'm amazed. I'm amazed.
Again, been in the business a long time. One day, right around the turn of the century, makes me feel old. So, I went, well, first off, I had friends that were Keller Williams agents on the mainland. And so I kind of got involved in this one office, there was a little opportunity, but I had been very busy with a certain organization, it's called Brian Buffini, but they, see, I don't want to go off into too many tangents, but I woke up one day and went, oh my God, there's no Keller Williams in Hawaii. Thank you, this is what I'm supposed to do, because I was getting to the point where I wanted to start teaching more, doing, 31 years. I should have been, I'll tell you, the recession nailed me, otherwise I'd probably be retired. But, so I started on that, and I had friends at Keller Williams and a couple heavy hitters that I worked with in this networking group that I was part of, really great agents all over the country. So that was 2002. Anyway, I was on the team. There were 3 of us started the first one here in the state, right here in Key. I love it. I love the systems. I love the culture. Not everybody follows the culture, so there's always issues no matter what company you're with. But God bless Gary Keller. Let's put that in. Okay, I am going to, there's a create buyer urgency. And, well, I guess actually I can pull it up here now, but I had it set because I wasn't working on my laptop. We're doing pretty good on time. It's interesting, I know the material, but I don't know the curriculum that well, so. And I like to gab, so I have to be careful.
No, it's great. I feel like some of the best points have been on your little side.
Side
notes.
thing?
Yeah.
Good, thank you,
Yeah,
thank
seriously.
you, I appreciate that.
Go away from the curriculum.
So we're just gonna listen, I've got it here, but it's gonna be small. I think I'll wait until she comes back, it's no problem. Could I suppose, yeah, no, I'm not even going. If there's any way any of you can go to the convention, family reunion, they're fantastic. It just catapults you. It's so exciting, and especially right now because they're releasing all this cool stuff.
They do those in Texas.
They do them all over the
Oh.
place. Yeah, usually the mega camp, which is in the summer, August, I think, is in Austin, which is home base. But the, like, I think it's in Dallas, it was in New Orleans this year. It's all over.
Sure.
You guys have any questions or anything while we wait for her to come back? Anything even not related to exactly what we're talking about? By the way, you're very welcome to contact me if you need help with anything. I love helping people write their
I
first
have your
deals
number.
up. It's so exciting.
When you said the recession pinned you or whatever, what should we be looking at or avoiding, or what are there any lessons you learned from that?
Don't over leverage.
Okay.
That would be the main one.
What do you mean by that?
Well, things have been just going bonkers, and so I have 2 vacation rental condos, and when the recession hit, it was a double whammy because vacancy went way down, and my real estate business went way down, so I wasn't making enough money to cover those mortgages. And I kept throwing good money after bad, until I woke up one day and went, oh my gosh, you're gonna lose your home if you're not careful. I'd also been involved in building something or another, and the builder went out of business. So my construction loan came due and I didn't even have a foundation. Anyway. It was tough.
What was your solution for it?
I had to get rid of those 2 condos. I pretty much lost my whole retirement.
You sold them at a loss then, basically, okay.
You're saying you just felt like you had your hand in too many pots at the same time?
I couldn't pay all the mortgages.
Yeah,
The
whenever
income
that,
wasn't here.
whenever
I
that
tell you, the
happens,
recession
sure.
was tough.
Sure.
I'm sorry, what was that last one?
So, well, you just felt like you had your hand in too many pots, and that's what you mean by over
Well, yeah,
leveraging?
over leveraging. So for instance, if you go in with 50% down, you're gonna have a lot smaller mortgage payment than if you go in with 20% down. I was going in with minimum down payments. I was leveraging myself more because it was working for a lot of years. But if I only bought 1 condo and put way more down so that my monthly nut wasn't so much that things could hit the skids and I couldn't still hold on. Yeah. And my business had gone quite a bit down too. My mom spent her last 10 years with me with Alzheimer's, so it wasn't a good decade, but we're all good. Okay, everybody's back. This is a listening thing because that's what we gotta do here. And create buyer urgency is what it's called. Oh, come on. Hold on. It's not talking, or it's talking, and not thinking.
Your little speakers need to be turned on.
No, this is, oh. Well, you know what I could do? Actually, here, let me do this. I know what I could do. Sorry about that. What did I do with the, remote? Oh, here it is. I think I can do this. There. It's gonna work. It should. Oh, yeah, it is working. Okay. There we go. Where'd it go? Is that it? I guess it is, huh? No. Why is that? Sorry, guys.
What that means is the best homes go fast. Next area that we set expectations in is multiple offers. We tell our buyers that Hi, my name is Sean Keeley, and today I'm going to teach you how to create buyer urgency through the showing process. And the first step is setting expectations. We tell buyers that it is a seller's market, and what that means is the best homes
If it's a
go
seller's market.
fast. Next area that we set expectations in is multiple offers. We tell our buyers there's going to be a lot of other buyers out there, and you may find yourself in a competitive situation. The third area that we set expectations on is condition. Many of the homes that they're going into are going to be move-in ready, but they need a little bit of work. The next step in the process we call the funnel. And essentially, we're trying to take the entire MLS and funnel it down so that at the end of the day, there can be only one house that kicks out the bottom. What I'd like you to do tonight, pick out the best 10 or 15 homes, and then tomorrow, drive by those homes and check them out. I want you to pick out the best 3 or 4, and we'll go out and take a look at those homes. Next part is the actual showing process. We show the first house. You'll ask the buyer, on a scale of 1 to 7, leaving out the 4, 7 being perfect, and there is no perfect home, and 1 being unlivable, where would you rate this home? Inevitably, the buyer will answer it's a 5. And the reason they give you a 5 is because they don't have anything else to compare it to on the very first home that they've gone to see. Then what you want to do is try and reinforce What's making it a 5 for you? Then the next question you asked said, what are some of the things that you would do to move it more towards a 7 if you were to purchase it? You go on to the next house. Now you ask an alternative of choice question. Pretend you had to buy one of these 2 houses today. Which one would it be? The last one we saw or this one? They liked the first one better. Perfect. Go to the third house. The third house, you do the same thing. You say, all right, Gary, pretend there's only 2 homes on the market and you have to buy one today. Which one is it? The first one we saw or this one? And they say, this one. And you repeat that process over and over until you get to the last house. At the end of the day, you say, well, it looks like 123 Main Street was your favorite house. So right there from the house, we call the listing agent, find out if the home is still available. Let's go back to the office and get this property written up before somebody else gets it. My biggest aha out of this came when I was out with one of my first-time buyer families, and we drove up to the first house, and my buyer said, I don't even want to go in that one. What he ended up telling me at the end of that trip was, Sean, what I want you to do is print me out a list of every home that matches my criteria. I'm going to drive by those homes, and I'll tell you which ones I want to see. Aha!
Did you do that one?
Hey, thanks for watching
Do it with
KW
condos all the
Connect.
time.
Make it a great
Condos,
day.
yeah. One of the things that's kind of unique to our market is that the people are here on vacation. And even if they're really motivated, what if they don't have time? Because they are on vacation. What if they don't have time? Their house isn't there or what have you? And you can probably work with a lot of condos and stuff, especially if you live here in Kihei. So then what I do is I do a broad stroke type of thing. If it looks like we don't have time to take them through the whole process and what have you. And so we'll cruise around, I'll, tour and show them. Simple, just use Kihei for this. And look at different complexes and at least get them to choose which complexes are right. So this has happened to me over and over again. So let's say you have 2 or 3 that they say, so I really love Maui Kamaole. I guess Kamaole Sands would be okay, and Volanikai. Whatever it is. So now I know I just need to pay attention to that. Now that doesn't mean I'm not going to be searching and also sending to them new properties that come up that fit their needs roughly. I don't make the criteria too tight, so that they continue gaining market knowledge, et cetera, But now I know that my job, because I'm getting that notice too, is to look for when Volanikai, Naikamaoli, whatever comes up. Because they know, now we just have to find the right unit in that complex. And so many times I've sold places sight unseen, because we've gone through that kind of a process. They know that they want to live in Kamaole Sands, and they know that they prefer Building 9. They know da-da-da-da-da, and so, and we've seen a couple, but one was really funky, the other one got sold out from under us, da-da-da. And you walk in, and you know you have found their condo. It's really fun. And then you take a nice video and you send it to them. Now, I try to set expectations, that's so important, of course. They need to, be kind of just ready to roll, because when they see the video, knowing how they felt when they were in that complex, they're fine with it. That's what I was going to say. One of the expectations to set is hopefully having them come over for the inspection. Not everybody can just fly back and forth. Some people say, oh yeah, no problem, don't even think twice about it. So then if they've seen a video of a property that they haven't seen, but they know they want to be in that complex, and from the video they're excited and feel like it's good, we go ahead and we write up the deal, And then once it's accepted and we're in escrow, then we'll have those 14 days typically to go into the inspection portion of the program. So then have them fly back over, because then we can, if there's something that they didn't realize that's gonna kill the deal for them, then we can get out of the deal while we're still in those inspections and all that good stuff. If not, and they trust you enough, then they'll just have you do the inspection and send the report, right? So, it's pretty exciting to be able to say, hey, I think I'm sitting in your place. It's really fun. Anybody have any questions or anything on that? I liked a couple of the things he said. I'm not a real big one on, I agree with you, having them drive around and look at complexes is a good thing. They can't get in that many either, but I think that's a great idea on their own. Right? That's why, you know, you wanna try and be efficient, because there's so much going on, and usually we have a limited time. That's why I give them those highlighters. I could spend an hour going through a purchase and sale contract with them, purchase contract. I don't wanna do that. Plus, when they go through it with their highlighter, then I know, oh, we've got an engineer here, or we've got a this or that, and we know how to communicate with them as well, so that's important. If your buyers do not wanna make an offer, I'm on page 27, of any of the properties you show, make sure you understand why. Then be sure to schedule the next appointment before you say goodbye. Even if you have nothing lined up to show yet, never leave an appointment without scheduling the next. Good advice. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, before we part company, let's get out our calendars and set up our next meeting to look for that home you want to buy. If nothing's worth seeing has hit the market by Friday, I'll call you and we'll reschedule for the next Saturday. Now, if they're here visiting the island, it can be an issue, but you kind of get the idea. Your job is not to try and sell your buyers a home that isn't right for them, but your job is to help them recognize when a home fits their needs, wants, and values. Especially if it presents itself in a form that they didn't expect. As long as they're just as happy with what they end up with. When buyers are sure they like a house but are reluctant to take the next step to make an offer, reassure them, this is so important, that the simple step of making an offer is not as binding as they may think. Now, we're not just gonna willy-nilly write offers, but it's absolutely true. When you can look them in the eye, if there's trust between you, and say, I feel comfortable that this is the right home for you to move forward. And we need to move forward. We don't want someone else to get there before us. But I want to make sure you completely understand that before being legally bound to move forward, there are many things. If we're talking about a condo, they're going to look at the covenants, conditions, restrictions, CC&Rs, all the rules. They want to hang their laundry to dry on the lanai and they don't allow it, and that's just a deal killer because they're just so ecologically being silly now, but then that's not the condo for them, right? So there's all sorts of information. They're going to see all the information about how it's managed and the financial numbers and stuff, so that we can be, you know, as sure as we can that it's being managed properly and you're making a smart decision there. So there's lots of built-in protections, and the key is for you as a professional to know when the buying signals are so strong that, you know, sometimes they have a hard time getting out of their own way because they're all excited and all that good stuff. So, and you know, if they keep seeing things they like and afraid to move forward, there's something else going on, so you're back to the drawing board. Good old buyer's remorse, right? Okay, let me look at this just to see what we have. What time? Okay. These are pretty good scripts, but I'm going to pass through them because I want to make sure I don't miss something real important. But this is a good thing, you know, you can take out and make a copy and put it in your binder with your. Page 29, regroup and rethink. If you have shown more than the average number of homes and your buyers have not made an offer, isn't that funny? It's time to go back to the drawing board. Own it. Whatever the issue was, now it's time for you to rectify the situation. Sit down with your buyers back at the office and review your needs analysis. Remember, they have more new information too. We all change our minds and look at things differently as we gather more information. So you have probably, you know, hit them with a fire hose. And that might result in them having to move in a new direction. So go back to the office and do that, and reassure them, hey, you know, this is normal. This is, we're doing just fine, this is how this goes, right? So they don't have to feel so nervous about it. Get to the bottom line with your buyers. I know. What you're looking for doesn't exist unless you want to buy a doghouse. So we have to make a decision. You can step into a higher price point, that's possible. You can adjust your expectations. You can step away from the home buying process for a year and see what happens. What's the best course of action for you? If they're willing to adjust their expectations, do a new search. If not, recategorize them as a lower priority buyer and stop devoting your showing time to them. Yep, that's. Keep them on a campaign. Tell them to get in touch if you see property that comes on they'd like to see. I'm honest to people. I love to have a deal when they're ready to go, but right now in this current market, we have all the signs that things are going to shift. The market times are getting longer. I think the reason why we're still doing pretty darn good business and the prices haven't started coming down is because our inventory is so low. So that keeps things kind of hopping. But there are definitely signs. So sometimes they need to wait for the market to shift. And that's okay too. It's just the way it goes. Stay in touch with them. I promise you, if they're not going to buy right now and you continue to serve them and stay in touch with them, two things are going to happen. Three things are going to happen. One of the things. They're going to not be buyers, never buy. They're going to, at some point, be able to buy. And or they're going to send you referrals because you have established yourself as a trusted advisor and they are comfortable referring their friends and family to you. That's when the magic happens. No question. We might come back to practicing the scripts, but I want to walk through this to make sure we get to the end here. Customer experience focus on page 31. Be proactive when it comes to communicating as you both try to find the home on the internet. Establish how you would like to keep in touch. Is it email, phone calls, or text messages? Super important. I promise you if they're under 35, they don't want you to leave a voicemail. Okay, I'm 64, you can't leave a voicemail for either. I hate that. I hate voicemail. I love text. As a realtor, woo, that's wonderful. But it depends on them. You need to communicate the way they want to communicate and are most comfortable. Talk to them about how often you'll be in touch. Is it every time a new home comes on the market, plus a weekly communication to check in? Whatever you establish, stick to it. Right? They might not be consciously aware, but they're observing you making promises and following through. It's all about, strengthening the relationship so that there's trust. Also, you'll be spending a lot of time with your buyers, so bring plenty of resources to cover any eventuality and make the experiences comfortable as possible. All that good stuff. So we have 15 minutes left. On page 32. Can I have a couple volunteers?
Like us to read? Oh,
Yeah, no, you want to volunteer?
want to read?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, not to read.
Oh.
Hold on a minute. Practice touring a home while pointing out benefits and handling objections. One of you needs to be the agent, one needs to be the buyer. The agent's gonna mock show a home by pretending the classroom is the house. Still wanna do it?
Sure.
Point out features and benefits that correspond to the buyer's mock needs, which is listed below, and handle any objection raised. Assume a buyer's needs analysis has been done, so you can reference the mock needs analysis. For example, here you will see the formal dining room for the large dinner parties you like to host. This is a kitchen. This is a bathroom. I'm sorry. Okay.
Bob, let's see you in action, Bob. You're the agent.
Okay, so you see the must-haves, You're the agent, right?
Sure.
Okay. There's your buyer back there in the corner. You wanna,
Walk around?
I think you should
All right.
walk in the front door and go for it. It'll be fun and we'll laugh and have fun. That's what we're here for, right?
Alright. You gonna walk in with me?
You're arriving at the house. Yeah. You're in the lockbox, there's nobody else here.
Come on in.
Number one, can I throw something out?
Please.
Number one, you're on lockbox, which means nobody's in the house. You got here a half an hour early and you turned on all the damn lights. Cause you don't wanna open the door and have this place be pitch black and you're fumbling around trying to find out where the light switches are. You wanna get
Thank
here
you.
ahead of her and turn on the lights and make sure it doesn't stink. Bring out, have a little
Legit.
Febreze thing in your car, you know, so just
If you can,
practical,
that's very-
practical life
And
experience.
hopefully the listing agent, you know, will do that, you know,
Yeah.
they do that often too, but yes, that's really a good idea.
The reason you find that Donna Hanson does so damn much business is cause she met me at her listing and she had the music on, she had the
Oh, yeah.
smell of cookies baking in the
Oh, yeah.
oven, she had all the lights on, and she had music playing, I'm saying, so this is why she does $28 bazillion a year.
The full human experience.
Yeah, because you don't wanna go with a lockbox and literally, where are the lights? Where are the light switch? You turn it on, you realize the bulb's burned out and they haven't, I mean, I'm serious.
And
Get there
think of-
10 minutes early and turn on the lights.
Think of the difference between walking into a beautifully staged property versus a vacant property too.
Oh.
The difference, they, you know, it doesn't feel as good, does it? When you walk into a warm, like you said, Donna, oh man.
So
Yes,
you got
that's
there ahead of
ideal.
time, you turned on all the lights
Mhm.
and now you open the door for,
Okay, I have a little bit of a short attention span. I've forgotten. I'm showing
You're-
features.
I'm sorry, yeah,
I'm
you
showing
need
the
this.
benefits of features, correct?
Yeah, you need. These are your mustache.
Okay,
There you go. And don't worry about it, we're having fun.
okay. Ready? Yep. Alright. So, just like we talked about, we have the large eat-in area. I know you said you wanted a chef-inspired kitchen. Are you a good cook?
I am actually, yeah,
Are you gonna cook for me?
absolutely.
Alright, let's get this done then. Let's get you in a good
Natural.
house. And also, across the house, I wanna show it to you, there's the room for an office
Okay.
that we had talked about also.
Alright.
I know you really wanted to get more work done at home, spend more time with your family. I think it will be perfect for that.
Okay.
There's also a 3-car garage so that you can expand. You said you have 5 kids?
5 kids.
So are any of them driving?
One is gonna this year.
So peace of mind right there. And there's young kids too?
Yep, 1 year old.
1 year old? Wow, that must be fun. My favorite age is when they know what a sentence sounds like, but they don't know how to make it.
Yep.
So they go,
We're there right now, actually, yeah.
I love that.
We're there.
So plenty of room for the kids to learn and to grow in the yard. And it's turnkey, it's ready to go.
Alright. Well, let's take a look at that office if you don't mind.
All right. Let's look at the office. So, do you see yourself in this office?
You know, and it's really dark and gloomy, actually. It's not kind of the feel I wanted. I really wanted an office with like a picture window in there.
I should have
Don't
been here
know.
10 minutes earlier and turned the lights off.
Well, no, I think, I think the paint's wrong. Maybe it's the paint, but I'm not sure. It's a little smaller also than what I wanted.
Okay, there's a couple others that we're gonna look at today that have offices also. It might just be a paint job could fix it, and then before you know it, you have your perfect office.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, and then how about the yard? That's a big deal.
The
Take a look
yard
at the yard.
is huge.
Okay.
I love this yard. I want this yard for myself, to be honest with you. So if you don't make an offer, I will.
You better hope that they said they wanted a huge yard.
Oh, That's what it says.
Oh,
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
okay, good, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, the yard is huge, but I feel like there's so much going on, it almost takes away from the big yard. I don't know if I wanna spend to clear out what's back here.
Okay, what do you mean so much going on? What do you see?
I feel like those plumeria trees take up half of it. I don't know.
Okay,
That's probably gonna be some work to hire somebody to get it out.
okay. Well, I have people that I can maybe refer you
Okay,
to
yeah.
get rid of those.
Right.
It's also a lot of shade. It's a sunny area down here, so
That's true.
it might be something you like. It could be, I know you said that the office was gloomy too.
Yeah.
It sounds like sunlight, natural light is important to you.
Absolutely, I think it's a feeling, right?
Yeah.
Not walking in and wanting to be in there all day, so that's what I feel. But I like that there's an office, but I'm just not too sure. It could be just the paint color in there, but I'd love to see more, if you don't mind.
And even in the backyard too, I can get you in touch with somebody who can maybe help you with those trees. We can see how much that would cost
Perfect.
to get rid of them, and then maybe if that offsets too much, we can take it from there and we can advise after that point.
Well, I appreciate all that detail and even finding help for me, but I think I wanna sleep on this one. What do you
Okay.
think? Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
What is it maybe that you're wanting to think about? Maybe I can answer your questions now.
Yeah, I really wanted, to me, it's not a move-in ready, it just is what I wanted to move-in ready to be.
Mhm.
So, if you can help me through that, you know, maybe that's kind of my holdup.
Okay, what would make it move-in ready?
No trees back there, maybe a brighter office, maybe even if we could talk about, you know, what it would look like to switch up that designated office into maybe a bedroom and make a bedroom an office. It could be really complicated, but
There it is.
can you help me maybe see that? You know,
Yeah,
that's-
absolutely. I've got a team that I can help, they'll help us figure it all out. And I'll tell you what, why don't you sleep on it and I'll give you a call tomorrow. We'll make an appointment to figure out what's going on with them. And then maybe if you're free on Tuesday, you can come by the office and we can review everything.
Sweet, what time are you gonna call me tomorrow?
Tomorrow, what time's good for you?
9 AM.
9 AM, I like you. I'm a 9 AM person too. All right, I'll call you at 9 AM.
There you go, good job, good job.
Okay.
No, that was great. The only thing that I thought of, but that was really a great job, is at certain points you can stop and say, well, what would make that a good job?
Okay.
Which you kind of did, I mean, she said, get, not so much credit out there. Yeah, good job, good job. Good job,
See my
impressive, I like it. Any ahas or questions, or?
I think, when I was in that, to be aware and ready for those little things that may be so big to somebody, like the plumeria trees. Plumeria is beautiful for us, we're so blessed with that just being in the backyard naturally. But to somebody, it could be too much or not what, so I think adjusting to who's in front of you constantly is
Yes.
really important.
Plus, let's go back to the first meeting, when we did the tabs. I want a really big yard. What is it about a big yard that is just right for your family?
Really
Well,
digging.
because, I'm the one who always had the kids in the neighborhood over, and they like to be able to play soccer and do the, so.
Dig deep in there.
Dig deep. Yeah, good. I think that was great, good job. Okay, we're gonna go to page 33 where it says putting it all together. This is in preparation for the next class, so, Bob, when you first came in, we walked through and recorded conversations. They had a referral, and if they set an appointment, or a referral and held an appointment, so those are the numbers you wanna track for when you come back.
Daily 10.
The daily 10-4, that's exactly right, so completing these are tasks for you to take with you, so you transfer it onto your schedule if you need to, right? So it just pops up, remember, even though it seems kind of like a lot, if there's even little things that you wanna do, if you're not doing it right then and there, open up your schedule and put it in there. It can always be moved, but you don't just get rid of it when you're busy on that day, you replace it, you put it somewhere else. So you have to always replace it, but the beautiful thing is, especially as a new agent, and trust me, even as an experienced agent, you wake up some days and go, what am I gonna do? How do I best use my time? You know, that takes a lot of effort. It's a beautiful thing when your schedule tells you what to do. Because I've got a certain amount of time blocked for lead gen, you know, certain, you know, time block for maybe for a script or, and then all the tasks, you know, 3 are gonna pop up, you need to call them today, cause I called them last quarter and then I had set the calendar to tell me when I needed to call them again. I don't have to stop and think, who am I gonna call, and go there, ooh, I'm nervous to call them, or how about maybe then? No, you do what your schedule tells you to do. You just do, you call it. So it's really a great thing. So start dumping everything you can out of your head into your schedule. That's gonna matter, because we need to create systems that are scalable. Right now, you're not doing much business, but you get one in escrow, you got one in escrow, right? Or you did, bravo. So this is gonna be a new thing, because now you're gonna be doing this and keep it going. It's easy to get busy with escrow stuff and then not continue to consistently lead gen. And if you don't want this, if you want this, that's what you have to do. So, I'm talking to myself, you know that, right? Enter your numbers into your tracker, continue to preview and visit homes to practice touring and identifying features and benefits. So he pointed out, it's true, this morning at 9 o'clock was our Kihei Caravan. Even if you cannot go on Caravan or go at 9 o'clock, you can get the sheet with the list. I mean, I tell you honestly, I hardly ever go to Caravan because I have a workout that I love and it's 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning.
Where do we get that list?
You can get it from the title company and it'll be, yeah, it's.
Go to Fidelity.
Yeah.